Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for our weekly special of NFL games, except we are now in the divisional round where the buys come into play and the upsets maybe are over and maybe not. I tried to tell people last week there are going to be upsets, and boy, were there some upsets. Myself, almost perfect. I should not have switched my Houston pick. As a result, I'm 4-2. Barbosa, I believe you were 3-3 on the week.
Yep.
Jose was 1-5, and Gil was 2-4. I believe his only correct games were Green Bay and Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that makes the standings very interesting as I'm now only 4 games back. I may have run out of time, but I made a hell of a comeback this year, so I'm quite happy with that. But now it's about just picking the winners. So this is going to be some fun. So guys, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, so guys, we've had a little bit of stagnation with our subscribers. So as I've said before, I work pretty hard on these shows. I'm going to be bringing you a new show with Jose tomorrow. We're going to be giving you weekly Saturday NCAA picks against the spread. We hope you tune in for that. Jose is quite the expert in college basketball, so I've brought him on to make me look good, and hopefully I can look good as well. So stay tuned for that. It's a new show starting on Friday where we pick all of our locks for the 100 Saturday games they have in college basketball. So please like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you guys think. But for now, let's go to the 4 NFL showdowns we have this week. We'll obviously talk about the games from last week when we mentioned these games. Let's start with the Houston Texans, who knocked out Barbosa's Colts and then went to Cleveland and put Joe Flacco back on his couch. I mean, literally put him back on his couch. Two pick sixes. CJ Stroud went crazy again, threw the ball all day to Nico Collins. They go to Baltimore, who had the bye. Gil's Super Bowl pick and likely MVP winner, Lamar Jackson. I can tell you Gil has the Ravens, as everyone pretty much knows. Jose, I'll start with you. What an interesting game we have here. Who do you got?
Tough game. Big win by the Texans last week. They surprised me. They moved the ball well on that Browns defense. I thought maybe they were probably going to struggle first game for a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. He looked like a veteran. The guy he's beyond his years. He looks like he's like a 5-year professional already, like a pro or whatever. But saying that this week he's going to play against the rested Ravens team. They have Super Bowl hopes. But I'm going to take the Ravens, but I won't be surprised if this one comes down to the wire. They're both, surprisingly, the Texans have a really good defense. They get pressure on the quarterback. Like their secondary is not that bad. Offensively, like cover with Nico Collins, or else you're gonna get torched.
Yep.
And same saying that I'm gonna take the Ravens. I just think the Ravens at home should win this game, so I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Barbosa, who do you got?
It's a tough game. All these are going to be tough games. But this one I'm struggling a little bit with. I know the Ravens are at home. I've been impressed with Houston the last 2 weeks, especially with Stroud. He's balling out. Having Nico Collins back is a big help for him, for sure. And Lamar's playoff record is suspect. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. In saying that, Baltimore is at home. I think Lamar will get it done. I believe Lamar will get it done. So I'm going to take the Ravens just because they're at home, and I think Lamar doesn't want to have his record, his reputation, like Dak Prescott's reputation, being a regular season quarterback and can't get it done in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Lamar.
Okay, these teams met week one, and the Ravens beat the Texans 25-9 in Houston. The teams are obviously much different since then. CJ Stroud has impressed me all year long. Um, Nico Collins is one of my prize picks in fantasy. He's been great all year. If they had Tank Dell, this would be even a more interesting game. Singletary, the reject from the Bills, has been excellent since taking over for Damon Pierce. The Texans defense has been very good. They haven't been as good on the road, but I will say that Baltimore has all the pressure. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. He has a bad playoff record. He has not been effective in the playoffs as a passer. And I just feel froggy. So I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take the Texans. I think they have a real chance of winning this game. And if they don't, they're 100% covering the 9 for all you bettors out there. So I'll take a chance and take the Texans in a close one. Now let's get this over with quickly. As you can see in my background, it's not going to be a fun time, and we're not going to be showing any love next week. The Green Bay Packers, I wish Gil was here, went to Dallas and once again showed the world why the Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Choke Boys. They absolutely annihilated the Cowboys from start to finish. It was 27-0 at one point. Dak Prescott threw a pick six and another interception. And Jordan Love, who I loved from the beginning of this season, and I told Gil he's going to love that quarterback. Green Bay knows how to pick them. Has been absolutely awesome for about 10 games now. He's got a 21-1 TD to interception ratio right now. He's been awesome, but I got news for you. Green Bay goes to San Francisco to die. I got the 49ers. Jose?
I got nothing to say. I just got to say is that the 49ers are going to run the ball down their throats like they always do. I don't even understand why Dallas was trying to pass on that. I told you guys last week, Green Bay Packers have a very good secondary and they're a really good team against the pass.
You're right.
Their weakness is the run game. So McCaffrey is gonna have a field day, and the Niners should win this game easily. And so I'm taking the 49ers.
Alexander may be hurt as well. The answer to your question, Jose, is Mike McCarthy's a bad coach. And the fact that the Dallas Cowboys kept him after that atrocity is why they'll never win anything. Barbosa, what do you got?
They kept McCarthy because Jerry Jones doesn't want to give the helm to nobody else.
Absolutely.
Jerry Jones wants to be the ego of that team. He wants to control everything. And that's why McCarthy's still there. Because if it wasn't that, Bill Belichick would have been already there the next day. But he doesn't want to give the power up, so that's the problem with
and not only that is ego. He wants to be the one saying that
of course.
He's the one that won the championship for the Cowboys.
Which is why they'll never win. Barbosa?
Yeah, exactly. I am gonna take the Niners because they are my Super Bowl pick. But I've been very impressed with the Packers. That offense, they got two or three good wide receivers. They're young and they're speedy, man. That can give you guys a bit of problems in the secondary. But like you guys, like Jose even said, McCaffrey will have a field day. They'll run the ball. That's the problem with the Cowboys. They went down 7-0, and then it seemed like they didn't want to run the ball for some reason. But if you run the ball against the Packers, I think you'll have success. So that's why I'm going to take the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be definitely going to be a Christian McCaffrey game. It won't be 6 for 8 for 90 yards like it was with Jimmy Garoppolo, because we'll see some play action passes to those speed receivers.
Yeah.
As far as the defense goes, Dallas's defense has been overrated all year. As soon as they had a teams that could actually run or throw the football on them, they fell apart. And that's not going to happen with the 49ers front, which is the best in the NFL. I expect Love to be in the dirt a lot in San Francisco. Now let's go to a game that I don't know if anyone expected, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who absolutely annihilated the Eagles. Barbosa, you and I, you earlier than me, but we were all over this one. Tampa Bay just destroyed them. Philadelphia looked like they didn't want to be on the field. A.J. Brown didn't play. And Sirianni is hanging on by a thread. Baker Mayfield took complete advantage of that secondary, which is by far the worst in the NFL. And Tampa Bay took advantage of their opponent. The Detroit Lions, as I told all y'all last week, it was a massive revenge game, and Jared Goff played the game of his life to beat the Rams, and he needed every single last inch of it to hang on to win that game. I'm very happy for him because I like revenge stories. So good for Goff. Now he's got to go home. This is, now you should think the pressure's off, right? You won your first game. Now you go home, you have another game. The crowd's all behind you. But we shall see. Barbosa, I'll start with you. Who do you got? And by the way, Gil has the 49ers in case people are asking. Who do you got, Barbosa?
I'm gonna take the Bucks. I was impressed with them last week. They seem like they got quite a bit of weapons there in that offense. They made the Eagles look stupid. Like I told you guys, I haven't been impressed with the Eagles all year. There's something, and it showed. They're missing their coordinators. But I'm gonna take the Bucks. I've been impressed with Baker and that offense. It seems like it's working for him. He's been adjusting well to that offense. The defense played a little bit. They're okay. I'm not too impressed with their defense, but I just like Tampa's offense compared to Detroit. So I'm going to take Tampa for the upset on this one.
Josie, who do you got?
This is a tough game, man. Detroit played well offensively last week. They were moving the ball on the Rams defense. They had a couple of stalls there, but before that, they were moving the ball well, running it, throwing it. The only thing that worries me about Detroit is their secondary. They, as you can see, Stafford torched them up, and the Bucks do have a good wide receiver core with Evans and Godwin and all those guys, and White too as well. So they're gonna pose a threat. But I just think at home in Detroit, I think they have something special going on this season, and I think Detroit wins this game, a close one. I think they squeak one out in the end. I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah, this is a very tough game. Detroit got over the hump. There's a definite letdown that's going to happen after winning your first playoff game in like 100 years. Tampa Bay has the pretty much the same team that they had in the Super Bowl, Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Obviously, Rashad White is a much better running back now. And Baker's playing with house money. He knows he's got a contract next year. He knows he's going to get paid. He knows he has a team, and he doesn't have to worry about being under any pressure whatsoever. I like that formula. I really, really do. What made me pick Tampa Bay in this game is the Lions secondary. Jose mentioned it. They're second last to Philadelphia in the secondary in the last 7 games. And if that's the case and they can't get to Baker, they're going to have a tough time stopping him. They had enough to beat the Rams last week. I saw some of those catches by Puka Nacua. I don't care how you're defending that. Like if he's making catches like that, any secondary is going to have a difficult time stopping that kid. But I think that Tampa Bay, they met earlier this year, and Detroit won in Tampa 20-6. I don't see that happening this time. I think that Tampa Bay will score, and I think they'll squeak one out with Detroit sort of not choking, but being a little nervous at home. And maybe Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th and 20 from the 20, and they don't get away with it. So I'll take Tampa Bay in this one. Now let's go to the marquee matchup. The matchup everyone's been waiting for. The rivalry that no one thought was going to happen, but the Bills went on a run to make it happen. No one saw this coming when the Bills were 6-6 and the Chiefs were 7-5. Somehow the Bills won the division and got home field in this. No one ever saw that coming. So Kansas City goes to Buffalo. Buffalo took care of Pittsburgh last week without TJ Watt, and Mason Rudolph pretty easily. Josh Allen, I get on him a lot. He was unbelievable in that game. He basically won the game on his own, running 50-yard touchdowns, no turnovers. He was great, and he looked like
the reason why.
Yeah.
the reason why I think Josh Allen's a little bit different this year, and especially after changing their coordinator, is because they're running the ball more effectively.
Well,
That's why I
that's
think Josh Allen is turning the ball less, and he's making. I don't. He's not forcing anything. Um, and that's why ever since they made that coordinator change, their running game has gotten a lot better. That's why Josh Allen looks a little bit better back
yeah,
there.
I agree. He still had games like against New England where he was turning the ball over too
Yeah,
much, but he's a gunslinger. He's going to turn the ball over. His
he's
running attack
no
is
for
is
sure.
something that separates him from other gunslingers, as he can make first downs, even if it's 3rd and 20. He can make a first down. He's such a big guy, and he can run the ball very well. And he can't touch the quarterback these days. So, um, they're playing Kansas City, who got past the Dolphins. An easy win for the Chiefs. The Dolphins can't play in the cold. They had a bunch of injuries. And Tua, as I said earlier when we did a show, is not the guy. And they're not going to pay him. He's going to get franchised. And until he starts beating significant teams in big games, they're not going to pay him. And I don't trust him. And my goodness, has he been bad in big games in his career? Just go look it up, guys. 56-10. Now this game was 32-7. Like, he's just not good in these games. The cold is not a good idea for a Miami team either. So, however, now we go to Buffalo. Hopefully the snow's cleared. And I believe that this is the biggest game of Josh Allen's career. He can't lose this game at home to this struggling Kansas City offense, and he go 0-3 in the rivalry against Kansas City. If they're going to beat Kansas City, it better be this year, because you're not going to have Kansas City be this bad offensively in the future. And KC's defense is excellent. So this is the year. Buffalo has to get it done. If they don't, they probably won't ever beat the Chiefs or win a Super Bowl. They got it at home. They have to win this game. I got the Bills. But Kansas City's defense could sneak this one out if Josh Allen gets too froggy and starts throwing the ball all over the field. So get up early and run the football and see what happens. But boy, the Bills have got to win this one. Otherwise, Josh Allen, I'm going to put him on the fraud list forever. Jose, who do you got?
I have the Bills in the Niners Super Bowl finals, so I'm gonna take the Bills. In, in saying that
Feels
though, I won't be surprised if KC beats them. And the Bills are mangled with injuries on
Yeah,
defense.
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
that's the only thing, man.
That's the only thing that, yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that's gonna affect this game is the Bills' defensive injuries. I still think with the players that they have, they still can get pressure on Mahomes, and but I won't be surprised if KC beats them. And KC, they just know how to win, man. You know what? Like, no matter with who's playing wide receiver, who can't catch the ball, those guys, when it comes to playoffs, man. Andy Reid, I don't know what the hell he has up his sleeve, man. He has those guys always ready. That defensive coordinator, what's his name, Spagnola. That
Yeah.
guy's he comes up with crazy schemes to freaking screw up the quarterback. You one and like you don't know where the blitz are coming from. You don't know where the coverage is coming from. Like, so in saying that, I'm just taking Buffalo because that was my Super Bowl pick. But deep down inside, I think KC is going to win. But I'm taking Buffalo, so I'll take Buffalo in this one.
Barbosa, this is such a weird rivalry. The Bills own them in the regular season, but Casey owns them in the postseason. So who knows what's going to happen here? But who do you got?
Ah, this is a tough game. Um,
Like, it's so
I
weird. Buffalo's 3-0 against them in the regular season, and
yeah,
Casey's 2-0 in the
but
post. Yeah.
but mind you, it's all been home games for KC, right? Buffalo's always
Yes.
gone to Arrowhead. Um, what does scare me is Buffalo's unhealthy, and last week they lost a couple a linebacker. I don't know if and he's a backup linebacker, so they're going to be using their third string linebacker. Um, that's the only thing that scares me. Um, Kansas City knows how to win in the playoffs, man. Patrick Mahomes, he's a different animal when it comes to the playoffs. Um, but even if Buffalo does end up losing this game, it's not because of Josh Allen. I don't think it's going to be because of Josh Allen. I don't think it'll hurt his reputation. I think it'll be one of those back and forth games like they did like that 13-second drive that Mahomes had for them to win it at that game. In saying that, this Buffalo Bills team feels different this year. Them running the ball in the last few weeks, it seems like they've been playing playoff football for the past, what is it, 5 weeks now?
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. I think this is the year that Josh Allen gets it done. I think this is the year the Buffalo Bills get it done because Josh Allen in the playoffs he hasn't been bad. It's not his fault that the Bills have been losing in the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with the Bills this year. I think this year might be the year that they break through.
Yeah, I agree with Jose in this. This is a field pick. This is, Kansas City has a real shot at winning this game. It's more of a field pick that I think the Bills will win. I'm with Jose on that. So Gil, by the way, has the Bills and the Lions in the other game. So that is our picks. Now, before we go,
And guys, and I'll tell you this, I'm gonna tell you this. If KC wins this game, sorry guys, but I hate to say it, they're winning the Super Bowl. Even though I have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl, if they get passed by the Bills and they look good, I don't know, man. They just know how to win. They just know how to win.
You still got to go to the road and play the Ravens if the so it's still not
like I said, it's Lamar. I trust Allen more than I trust Lamar. So
yeah, if Baltimore, we'll see how Baltimore looks. I don't think Kansas City will win the Super Bowl, but this game will be this week will determine how these teams look and will change the feel of what is going to happen. So those are our picks. But before we go, Barbosa, we tried to tell you last week. We tried to save you from yourself, but you had to do it anyway. Now, Barbosa,
the odds were in my favorite. The odds were in my favor. I'll take the bet. The odds were my favorite.
Barbosa, like I said, for people who forgot, made a bet last week that Travis Kelce would go over 100 yards. He actually said 130, and then I made the bet 100 yards. He ended up with 71 and dropped a few passes, which we told him was going to happen because he hasn't been as good this year. Rashee Rice had 130 yards passing. Unfortunately, that's not the person who Barbosa bet.
It was the wrong person. I got the yardage right. It was the wrong person.
So Barbosa, get the 20s ready when we go to the Super Bowl party.
We'll do.
And next time, don't bet with the pros. All right.
Oh, here we go. Buddies, hey, 7 out of the last 9 games, Kelce has had 100 yards receiving. Okay? Yeah. He's averaging 100 yards receiving.
You wanted 130. I even gave you 100, and he still didn't.
Whatever. 130. What's the difference? 100, 130, 30 yards. It cost 71 yards.
I gave you 30 yards because you said 130. I even give you 30 yards.
Hey,
and he's still another 30 yards short. Anyways, Barbosa, save your money because there's more. If you want to make more next year with the Colts, you can every single week we'll make a bet. So you're gonna lose anyway. Anyway, so whatever
Anthony Richardson, buddy. Anthony Richardson, buddy.
Yeah, you wish you had CJ Stroud right now, Barbosa.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. He's in the division. Hey, listen.
Make sure.
Listen, I hope. I like Stroud. I hope, but. Hey, everybody was talking about Jalen Hurts being the guy last year, Jalen Hurts, and this year he shit that bad. I hope it doesn't happen. But let's wait one more year.
All right, guys. So
hit the bed this year. Like you check his numbers. He didn't.
Who? Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, check the numbers.
Jalen Hurts didn't shit the bed this year?
No, he didn't. Check the numbers. Check how many passing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's why he's at home. That's why he's at home for the last 5 weeks. He's been shit.
It's okay. He's shit, but they made the playoffs. So there were a reason they were 10-1. Okay, I don't know what the fuck happened after that, but there was a reason why they were 10-1. They beat KC.
Yeah, it's like the games that they won, especially against KC and against Buffalo.
Doesn't matter. They won.
Listen, Jose, those were squeak wins. Okay, those were wins that
Listen,
I'll give it to
win
them
by
if they
one,
won,
win by
but they
two,
weren't
win by
impressive.
three. It's a win is a win. It doesn't matter if it's a
I get it.
squeaker.
I get it. It is. You're right. You're right. The win's a win. You're right.
Exactly.
A win's a win, but it wasn't impressive. That's why it's never been high on the Eagles this year.
That's okay. Who gives
All
a
right,
shit about?
guys. Yes,
Tell about the
yes,
Niners. Bang bang Niner
that's
gang.
right.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. It is about the Niners, Purple. So your team's long gone, and it's time for us to get our Super Bowl. But we shall see as we go along in the weeks. So that's our show for this week. We'll put up the records at the end so you guys can see what the records are and our picks. It is close, but I think Jose is going to end up being the winner. Hopefully, we'll have Gil back next week. But for the mouth of North Andrews, that's Jose Carlos Gomes and Tony Barbosa. We hope to see you next week on the Reese Report, and hit my music.